let your light shine. This morning, as we focus on light, we realize that as Christians, we've had a love affair with light. Ever since the beginning and the inception of our denomination, we have been focused on light. After all, we even light candles. Well, we light candles even when we don't need them. Because we light those candles as a symbol that Christ is the light of the world. As we shared in our call to worship, it is a reminder that from the very beginning, God created light and said it was good, and separated the light from the darkness. And we celebrate that God is light. That light, that hope that we need, that brightens our life. Jesus, his son, says, I am the light of the world. One who follows me will not walk in darkness, but live by the light of life. And so we have light as a way that pervades our way through all of the Gospels. As a reminder that lightness is a way of bringing hope and joy to people's lives. Light. How valuable and important it is in our lives, in our own ways. But as I was sharing with the children, light was even more important in the time of Jesus because it was not easily accessible. It was a challenge to have light, of having to take flint and to scratch it in order to get something of a light. And the light, as we saw, was very dim, but it was light in the midst of darkness. But as we look at this lesson, Jesus says, you don't light a candle and then take a bowl or bushel basket and cover it. But in Jesus' time, what that meant was oftentimes when they would leave the house, or if they were going to bed at night, they would put a bowl over it for protection and safety, but also that maybe there would still be warmth enough in that light in the morning to be able to get that fire to light again. We all need to realize that we are not the source of the light, that really Christ is the light. And that's what our stewardship program is all about, is plugging into that source of light. We know that when we go to turn a switch on the house, to turn a light on in a room, that switch is somehow connected to a power plant in a distant place that is providing electricity for us to use. In the same way, when we go to light a candle, that we need a source, a match to light in order to be able to light that. In the same way, we need a source in our own lives. And that is what the church is all about. The church is that source where we plug in and have our faith rekindled, our light recharged, so that we go out in the world and make a difference in the world in spreading God's love. Go share your light. That's what the church is all about. Shedding the light of Christ so that others may see and know of the glory of God. In this week's newspaper, we had one of our very own. And this headline couldn't have been any better for us during the stewardship campaign, Continuing Contribution. It was a story about Dick Halstead. Dick is the substitute teacher. And Dick has been teaching for years. In fact, Dick is 81 years old. He's the oldest substitute teacher that Waterloo and Cedar Falls uses. And if you read the article, you realize that what possesses Dick to do what a lot of people just retire from and slow down from is that he has that drive within him to want to make a difference in a child's life. And there we have a picture of Dick helping out a couple of elementary students, helping them understand the mystery of math. It's still a mystery to me. But there again, it shows that we can still let our light shine. And it's not so much the light shine here in the church, but it is wherever we go. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. It's important for us to realize that light must shine so that others may see the glory of God. There was a college professor who was on his way to by airplane to a military base in order to give an inspirational talk. And as he was picked up at the airport, he was picked up by a soldier by the name of Ralph. And Ralph picked him up with a big smile and had the professor's name written out on a piece of paper to pick him up at the airport, to drive him to the base. And as they're making their way to the baggage claim, Ralph is suddenly just disappears, and the professor stops and he looks around, and there's Ralph lifting up a couple of little toddlers to a water fountain, as the mother who's holding a little tiny baby was trying to reach up and try to manage them at the same time. And then Ralph suddenly catches up to the professor, and they're moving down the thing, and suddenly Ralph disappears again. He looks around, and there's Ralph. He's helping a couple who were lost. They seem to have lost their way around in the airport, and Ralph is looking at the tickets and finding their way and showing what direction that they're going to go in. And just as fast as he left, he comes on and behind him, and they keep walking, and they finally get to the baggage claim area, and Ralph disappears, but he sees over across on the other side of the baggage claim, he's helping this elderly woman get her bags sorted out and out. And so as this college professor is getting his bags, and they're beginning to make their way, the professor says, how do you do that? Where did you learn something like that? And he says, what do you mean, Ralph says. And he says, well, you just have a heart for caring people. Where did you learn that? And Ralph says, I was in the Vietnam War, and my job was to clear the landmines, the minefields. I was to walk across that minefield not knowing if my next step was going to be my last. And so I learned to live in the step, to live as I'm walking. There are many of us that feel as though we're walking in landmines, or minefields ourselves, thinking that, is this going to be the last step that we take, or when is it going to blow? So we must learn to live within the step, to let Christ's light shine. That Dick Holstead is a reminder for us that we can continue to contribute. This last week, I had the opportunity to go visit both Gladys Wagner and Martha Nation, both of whom are over 100 years old, almost now approaching 101. And both of them are incredible, incredible women. And I think this must be what they have in common with Dick, is that they were all teachers with a compassion and passion to help others. But Gladys herself is failing, and that's one of the reasons that I went to go see Gladys. Gladys said there's a time for all seasons, and a place under in all life, and a time to live and a time to die. And she says, I'm ready to go. But yet, Gladys has this wonderful, beautiful smile and this positive attitude that you could tell that she trusts in God. In the same way, Martha Nation, she has a smile that brightens the world. I mean, we don't need a candle, because Martha has this way of brightening the world. And both at 100 years old have discovered what it takes to let their light shine. The sad thing is that the catchphrase for nowadays is burnout. And what often, as I read about burnout, is because people have become too self-sufficient and too self-centered to realize that it is in the giving of yourself and being involved with others that you then keep yourself from burning out and burning up. Candles burn out and light bulbs burn out. And so do churches. You can tell when a church is burnt out because they look tired. You walk inside and they realize you look like they're worn out. But a couple of years ago, we took a great leap of faith. A leap of faith that we were going to brighten this place up. And it has made all the difference in the world. It has made all the difference in the world. It is because of your generosity and your support that we are able to say, this little light of mine, I'm going to make it shine. Because we've realized that we have a place here. And we have a mission, and that is to let Christ's light shine so that others may see and may be glorified by God. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine